So the role of hormones. So first of all, we have oxytocin. And oxytocin is a really powerful tool. It's also known as the hug hormone or the love hormone, and it is responsible for relationships developing. It's fundamental in helping us to feel good when we're around other people. This is why people would say missing staff. This is why people have felt the impact of working remotely and not being next to and in the same facility as your colleagues. It is also why when you hug someone, you make them feel good, and you can even calm storms or help the release of pain when they have that contact with someone else and you hug them. It's the reason why relationships develop, why you have a best friend, why if you have a partner or you're married, why that is the case. It's oxytocin that is responsible for that. It is also the hormone that is responsible for when a woman has a child, while when she sees the child that she produces milk, is oxytocin is responsible for that. It's a very powerful hormone, and it is why we are creatures of habit and we love to be social and around people. The next is serotonin. Serotonin is a very important hormone. It's responsible for many different things, but three that are particularly important in terms of well-being is it regulates mood, temperature, and sleep. Okay, and so this is why it's fundamental that we are eating foods that help to produce more serotonin, but it's also important to be aware of there is certain things that can happen, especially for women when they go into menopause, why they experience what they experience. Now, when a woman goes into menopause, she stops producing estrogen. And estrogen is the primary hormone that helps with the production and the distribution of serotonin. And that's why when a woman enters into menopause, why she experiences the hot flashes, the cold flashes, why she experiences the mood swings, and why the emotions become kind of unstable, kind of really high, really low, and they're kind of thinking, what's going on with me? It's because of serotonin. Everything we do as human beings is ruled and controlled and governed by our hormones. And so serotonin is really important. And that's why when people take substances in particular, which affect the chemical balance of hormones in the body, which is why they experience the mood swings, the real highs, the real lows, the withdrawal, and all those kind of things. All of that is because serotonin is being affected. So then we have endorphins. Endorphins are our natural painkillers, and they also help us to feel good. So when we are doing something that we find physical and challenging, so like, for example, if you wanted to start doing exercise and you hadn't done it before, the first time you do it, you're going to be in a lot of pain. But what happens is your body releases endorphins so that the next time you do it, it doesn't feel as bad. And over time, it gets to the point where you are comfortable with doing 10 minutes jogging. So you can then go to 15 or 20 minutes. It's endorphins that's responsible for that. And it's a vital tool in helping us to be able to manage and cope and progress in things. Then we have dopamine. So dopamine is a chemical that regulates pleasure. Okay. Everything that we do that we enjoy doing as human beings is because of dopamine. And that is paramount for human survival. If we didn't like food, drink, and sex, the human race would die. Okay, so we've been hardwired this way to get a dopamine release for the things that we enjoy doing. Now, what happens often is that, so say for example, you eat a dairy milk, okay? And then you realize dairy milk is this really nice chocolate. The next time you go into the shop and you see it, automatically, what happens is dopamine rewards you and it flushes through and it reinforces for you to do that same thing again. So when you see it, you go, oh, dairy milk, and you want to have it. Now, what happens is when we are going through difficult experiences or we're finding something challenging, what we tend to do is we will go to, even if prior to that you was having a good healthy diet, we will tend to go to that tub of Haagen-Dazs, or we'll tend to go to that chocolate, or we'll tend to go to eat those sweets or crisps, or whatever your vice is, because you want to feel better. And subconsciously, you know or your body knows that when you eat this particular thing, you get a dopamine release from it. So that's why we have people who can sometimes be emotional eaters, because it's helping them to feel better, even though afterwards you're going to feel a bit negative if you put on weight or etc. But that's why we do it. And it's important to understand human behavior and what it's driven by, which is our emotions. So then we have cortisol. Now, cortisol is something that is in all of our bodies, and it needs to be there, and it's fine being there in small amounts. But what happens is cortisol is one of the stress response hormones. So whenever we are stressed, cortisol is released. Now, when it's released, because it believes the body is in danger because it's under stress, it basically does some fundamental things. One of those is it increases blood pressure. Another thing, what it does is that it shuts down your central nervous system. It depresses it, meaning your ability to fight off colds and flus, your ability to withstand things is diminished. And the other thing, what it does is it shuts down your serotonin levels, which regulates your mood, temperature, and sleep. And so if someone is constantly releasing cortisol because of stress, because of anxiety, because of worry, and it's done in unhealthy amounts, it has catastrophic effects on our health. It affects your hair, it affects your nails, people put on weight, fatigue. It does a whole range of different things. If you Google it and you see it, the list is very long. And so this is why well-being is so important, and finding ways of working on our well-being to limit the amount of cortisol that is being released in our bodies. And then we have adrenaline, which is the other stress response hormone. Adrenaline is released out of danger or excitement, and it's known as the fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. And what basically happens is our body goes into a response to be able to help us to be able to manage that situation, whether we're going to fight or whether we're going to run, or sometimes it can be so overwhelming that we're like freezing, like the rabbit before the headlights. Okay. Now, when adrenaline is constantly being released because of danger or perceived thought of danger, it can be done in unhealthy amounts until we have what is known as a chemical depression because of low adrenaline levels. This is what, when I worked with crack users, I worked in prisons for 12 and a half years. And when I worked with crack users, I delivered a crack awareness program for 5 years. And one of the things you found with crack users is that they often suffer with that chemical depression due to low adrenaline levels, as well as if they had dormant mental health issues that have been triggered as a result of their substance misuse. So these are the hormones. These are universal. They affect all of us. There is no one who is exempt from any of these. We all function and operate based on these hormones.